Okay, welcome to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge for the third week of May. We have many of our regulars here. We also have a new participant with us today. Ted has joined us. Welcome, Ted. Ted, would you like to say anything to introduce yourself before before we get started?
Well, I've been doing some on-stage and virtual Shakespeare with the Gingerbread Players here in Queens. And I'm also recording some short 1920s plays with Shalia, who is the director, on her channel with Woodside Players and Equity Library Theater.
Okay, great. Well, we're glad to have you, Ted. We hope you have fun today and that you'll become another one of our regulars. Okay. That said, we have the predetermined. Henry and Paul both are not here, but Sheila is first up. She will perform first today, and then Bill is next. So Sheila is first, and Bill is on deck. And the first monologue we're going to see today, performed by Sheila, will be. Here we go. Will be. Duke Orsino, if music be the flute of love, play on. At the very beginning of Twelfth Night.
I am trying to see my screen. Is that Act 1, Scene 1?
Yeah, it's the very beginning, the very start of the play.
Excellent.
Duke,
all right.
Hold on a second. I create the banner. No. Okay, so whenever you're ready, go.
If music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it, that surfeiting the appetite may sicken and so die. That strain again, it had a dying fall. Oh, it came o'er my ear like the sweet sound that breathes upon a bank of violets, stealing and giving odor. Enough, no more. 'Tis not so sweet now as it was before. Oh, spirit of love, how quick and fresh art thou, that notwithstanding thy capacity receive it as the sea not enters there. Of what validity and pitch soe'er by falls into abatement and low price, even in a minute, so full of shapes is fancy that it alone is high, fantastical.
Very nice. Okay. Up next, we have Bill. Bill is going to perform next, and then on deck after him is Elizabeth. Sorry, I'm freezing up here. Bill is going to perform. Bolingbroke, bring forth these men. So when it's Bushy and Baggett's execution, Act 3, Scene 1 of Richard II.
Oh, good. It starts at the beginning.
Yeah, it starts at the beginning. So whenever you're ready, go.
Bring forth these men, bushy and green. I will not vex your souls, since presently your souls must part your bodies. With too much urging, your anxious lives for no charity yet. Wash your blood from off my hands. Here in the view of men, I will unfold some causes of your deaths. You have misled a prince, a royal king, a happy gentleman in blood and lineaments. By you unhappy and disfigured clean, you have in manner with your sinful hours made a divorce betwixt his queen and him, took the possession of a royal bed, and stained the beauty of a fair queen's cheeks, with tears drawn from her eyes by your foul wrongs. Myself, a prince by fortune of my birth, near to the king in blood, and near in love, till you did make him misinterpret me. I've stooped my neck under your injuries, and sighed my English breath in foreign clouds, eating the bitter bread of banishment, whilst you have fed upon my seigneuries, sparked my parks, and felled my forest woods. From mine own windows torn my household coat, raised out my impress, leaving me to sign, save men's opinions and my living blood, to show the world I am a gentleman. This and much more than twice all this, condemns you to the death. See them delivered over to execution in the hand of death.
Excellent. I love that play. One of Shakespeare's most underrated, in my opinion. Okay, up next we have Elizabeth, and then on deck is Alex. And Elizabeth is going to be performing Oh, so the wild card comes up. That for a new player, that when wild card comes up, that means you do whatever you want.
Oh my gosh. Hold on one second. Let me think. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Wild card. Hold on one second. I'm pulling something up. Okay. I don't think I've done this before. I hope not, but it's one of my favorite speeches in the world. Can you see me?
Yeah, you're on screen.
Okay. So did I do Sir Thomas More with this group?
I don't believe so. That's the one that just recently has been added to Shakespeare's canon that may or may not have contributed to, or we talked about.
It is a collaboration, but this scene he did write. It's the only sample of his handwriting in a play script, and it's in the British Library.
I did not know that. I mean, that's very interesting. I mean, this will be something totally brand new to me. So I'm thrilled that you've chosen this. Now, is the character Thomas More himself, or
yeah.
Okay,
so let me give you a little bit of background on this. Sure. I do this every year with my students. So in real life, what really happened on May 1st in 1517, there was uprisings and rioting in the streets of London against an influx of immigrants and refugees taking all the jobs, eating all the food. And there were uprisings. The Londoners were rioting because they wanted the strangers removed. They wanted them removed. And so this really happened. The lieutenant sheriff at the time was Sir Thomas More, and he was sent out by the king to quell the mob and calm everybody down. And Shakespeare depicts this scene in the play, The Book of Sir Thomas More, and this is the speech that he wrote for him. If you will, is that okay?
That's great. In fact, just a couple weeks ago, it was Eleanor, who doesn't look like she made it to be with us today. She did a reading of this, a reading of the whole play, and I regret not being able to join because it overlapped with Wheel of Shakespeare. I wasn't able to do it, but more and more people
it's quite a good play, and for students who are maybe a little bit like, why? How is this relevant? Why do I have to learn Shakespeare? It's a great way to grab them at the beginning of the school year. So,
great. So I look forward to seeing it. So, whenever you're ready, go ahead and perform.
So somebody in the crowd yells out, "What we want is the removal of the strangers. We want the strangers removed." And to which Sir Thomas More replies, "Grant them removed. And grant that this, your noise, hath chid down all the majesty of England." Imagine that you see the wretched strangers, their babies at their backs, and their poor luggage plodding to the ports and coasts for transportation, and that you sit as kings in your desires, authority quite silent by your brawl, and you in ruff of your opinions clothed. What had you got? I'll tell you. You had taught how insolence and strong hand should prevail, how order should be quelled. And by this pattern, not one of you should live an aged man. For other ruffians, as their fancies wrought, with self-same hands, self-reasons, and self-right, would shark on you. And men, like ravenous fishes, would feed on one another. Let me set up before your thoughts, good friends, and you shall perceive how horrible a shape your innovation bears. First, 'tis a sin. What do you to your souls in doing this? Oh, desperate as you are, wash your foul minds with tears, and those same hands that you, like rebels, lift against the peace, lift up for peace. And your unreverent knees, make them your feet to kneel to be forgiven. Tell me but this, who will obey a traitor? You'll put down strangers, kill them, cut their throats, possess their houses, and lead the majesty of law in line to slip him like a hound. Say now the king should so much come too short of your great trespass as but to banish you. Whither would you go? What country by the nature of your error should give you harbor? Go you to France or Flanders, to any German province, to Spain or Portugal, nay, anywhere that not adheres to England, why you must needs be strangers. Would you be pleased to find a nation of such barbarous temper that breaking out in hideous violence would not afford you an abode on earth? Whet their detested knives against your throats, spurn you like dogs? What would you think to be thus used? This is the stranger's case. And this, your mountainish inhumanity.
Very nice and so good. It's having something original. And why don't you, if you could, actually, you know what? Maybe the link that I use might not have Sir Thomas More on it, and that would make it difficult. But email me. I mean, I might very well put that one on the wheel for the future.
It's really fun to do.
Great. Oh, and I had mentioned that Eleanor didn't make it. It looks like she joined us a little late, so we're glad that she is here. So she will be on that. So it'll be Alex and then Eleanor. So Alex will perform.
Valentine.
And why not about being banished by the Duke? We're going after Sylvia. Two gentlemen of okay.
3-1. Okay.
Act 3, Scene 1. I think it's toward the end, about 174 lines in. So toward the end, after the scene where the Duke found out about his plan based on Proteus's treachery.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, hold on. Let me create the banner.
And why not death rather than living torment? To die is to be banished from myself, and Sylvia is myself. Banished from her is self from self, a deadly banishment. What light is light if Sylvia be not seen? What joy is joy if Sylvia be not by? Unless it be to think that she is by and feed upon the shadow of perfection. Except I be by Sylvia in the night, there is no music in the nightingale. Unless I look on Sylvia in the day, there is no day for me to look upon. She is my essence, and I live to be, if I be not by her fair influence fostered, illuminated, cherished, kept alive. I fly not death to fly his deadly doom. Tarry I here, I but attend on death, but fly I hence. I fly away from life.
Very nice. Okay, so up next we have Eleanor, and then on deck is Danielle. Hello, Eleanor. Glad you made it with us at first. Eleanor is going to perform.
Oh dear.
Oh, I've been hoping this would be. This is from Troilus and Cressida. Cassandra, cry, Trojans, cry. The mad prophetess, prophesying what's going to happen. Act 2, Scene 2. Cassandra, where she bursts in. I forgot to write the line number down. So, but it just starts with cry, Trojans, cry. I'll help you find it.
Let me just find my copy of Troilus and Cressida, if I can. Oh dear, I can't find a.
So she starts cry, Trojans try. She's off stage. Yeah, and then Priam says, "What noise? What shriek is this?" Troilus says, "'Tis our mad sister. I do know her voice." And Cassandra goes,
okay, I'm having. I don't seem to have to be able to find a Puck Press copy of Troilus and Cressida.
Okay,
so
if you're having difficulty finding it, why don't you just look for it while we spin for the next person?
Okay, Danielle usually has sent a link to a different thing, if I might impose upon her.
Yeah, I sent at the beginning. You weren't with us. I should put it in the video description. I'll do it from now on. Next time, remind me if I don't do it. When I send the links for next week, I'll send. Here's the link, the on where I go online, so that because we had a problem with a couple weeks ago, Sheila found it, but she was using a different edition, and then the character was given a different name, and that caused all kinds of confusion. But if we're all reading from the same script, that helps. So I actually, well, Danielle is up next. While she's performing, I'll send a link to what I'm using, and hopefully that'll help. So anyway, Cassandra starts with cry, Trojans cry. You can do that one after Danielle has her turn.
I've put the link to the MIT in the chat.
Okay, so good. Yeah, so I don't. So Eleanor can find it there. Okay, so Danielle is going to perform. Viola, the rings that speech. I left no ring with her. Act 2, Scene 2. After Malvolio leaves her with Viola, leaves her with the ring.
Rightio.
So whenever you're ready, go.
Oops. Thank you. Just positioning. Oh, rightio. Sorry, I'm going to have to. Rightio. I left no ring with her. What means this, lady? Fortune forbid my outside have not charmed her. She made good view of me. Indeed, so much that methought her eyes had lost her tongue, for she did speak in starts distractedly. She loves me, sure. The cunning of her passion invites me, this churlish messenger. None of my lord's ring, why he sent her none. I am the man. If it be so, as 'tis, oh, poor lady, she were better love a dream. Disguise, I see thou art a wickedness wherein the pregnant enemy does much. How easy is it for the proper false in women's waxen hearts to set their forms? Alas, our frailty is the cause, not we. For such as we are made of, such we be. How will this fadge? My master loves her dearly, and I, poor monster, fond as much on him. And she, mistaken, seems to dote on me. Oh, what will become of this? As I am a man, my state is desperate for my master's love. As I am a woman, oh, now, alas, the day. What thriftless sighs shall poor Olivia breathe? Ah, time! Thou must untangle this, not I. It is too hard a knot for me to untie.
Awesome. So yeah, that was great. You said, Danielle, you have to perform your monologue and then leave. So okay, so we'll miss you during the scenes, but we're glad you were able to make it for your monologue, and you did great. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you for letting me do that.
Sure. Okay, Eleanor, were you able to find the monologue at this point?
Yes.
Okay, let me create the banner, and then
This happens to be something that I once set to music. This speech.
Oh, it's interesting. It probably could. I can see you like rapping this or something. Well, so a lot of monologues could be done that way.
I set it. I set it to notes. I wasn't rapping.
Okay. Well, yeah, even better. Okay, so whenever you're ready, go.
Cry, Trojans, cry! Lend me 10,000 years, and I will fill them with prophetic tears. Virgins and boys, mid-age and wrinkled eld, soft infancy that nothing canst but cry, add to my clamors. Let us pay betimes a moiety of that mass of moan to come. Cry, Trojans, cry! Practice your eyes with tears. Troy must not be, nor goodly Ilion stand. Our firebrand brother Paris burns us all. Cry, Trojans, cry! A Helen and a woe. Cry, cry! Troy burns, or else let Helen go.
Very nice. Okay, so the last two people to perform are myself and Ted. So I'm gonna spin next, and then Ted is on deck, and then we will start our scenes for the week. So I will perform. Imogen. I see a man's. Okay, so this is so I'm gonna be like Shakespeare often did, a guy pretending to be a girl, pretending to be a guy. Plot that Shakespeare loved to do since the actors were all men. That was an extra joke to him. And Act 3, Scene 6, I believe it's what. Give me a second to find that. Okay, there we go. I see a man's life is a tedious one. I have tired myself, and for 2 nights together have made the ground my bed. I should be sick, but that my resolution helps me. Milford, when from the mountain top Pisanio showed thee, thou wast without a ken. O Jove, I think foundations fly to the wretched. Such I mean where they should be relieved. 2 beggars told me I should not miss my way. Will poor folks lie, that have affections on them, knowing 'tis a punishment or trial? Yes. No wonder, when rich ones scarce tell me, to lapse in fullness is sorer than to lie for need, and falsehood is worse in kings than beggars. My dear lord, thou art one of the false ones. Now I think on thee, my hunger's gone. But even before, I was at point to sick for food. But what is this? Here is a path to it. 'Tis some savage hold. I were best not to call. I dare not call. Yet famine, ere clean it overthrow nature, makes it valiant. Plenty and peace breeds cowards. Hardly ever of hardness is mother. Ho! Who's there? If anything that's civil, speak. If savage, take or lend. Ho! No answer. Then I'll enter. Best draw my sword, and if mine enemy but fear the sword like me, he'll scarcely look on't. Such a foe. Good heavens. Okay. That brought back memories. I about 7 or 8 years ago, I played Belarius in production of the Long Beach Shakespeare, and I always, if you look at the script, you see Belarius comes on with his 2 sons, the very next one, and I was always in the wings, getting ready to come on as the girl playing Imogen was performing that one. So familiar in that sense. Okay, so lastly, we have Ted, our newest member, is going to perform, and Ted will do oh boy, the newest member is going to perform one that's been on the wheel forever and has not been spun till now. But the one that the monologue with a sleepwalking scene that in it, and usually that's the line that ends it. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. But the monologue that ends with that, Act 4, that's my mistake. It says King Henry 4. It's actually King Henry the Fourth Part 2, Act 3, Scene 1. Let me create the banner. And you are muted now, so you need to make sure that you unmute yourself. Let me see if I can help.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Are you ready, or have you found it, or do you need?
Is Go Call the Earls of Surrey and of Warwick?
Yeah. So it starts with that.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Go call the Earls of Surrey and of Warwick. But ere they come, bid them all read these letters, and well consider of them. Make good speed. How many thousand of my poorest subjects are at this hour asleep? O sleep, O gentle sleep, nature's soft nurse, how have I frighted thee, that thou no more wilt weigh my eyelids down and steep my senses in forgetfulness? Why, rather sleep. Liest thou in smoky cribs upon easy pallets stretching thee, and hushed with buzzing night flies to thy slumber, than in the perfumed chambers of the great, under the canopies of costly state, and lulled with sound of sweetest melody. O thou dull god, why liest thou with the vile in loathsome beds, and leavest the kingly couch a watch case or a common alarm bell? Wilt thou upon the high and giddy mast seal up the ship boy's eyes and rock his brains in cradle of the rude imperious surge, and in the visitation of the winds, who take the ruffian billows by the top, curling their monstrous heads and hanging them with deafening clamor in the slippery clouds, that with the hurly death itself awakes? Canst thou, O partial sleep, give thy repose to the wet sea boy in an hour so rude, and in the calmest and most stillest night, with all appliances and means to boot, deny it to a king? Then, happy low, lie down. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown.
Very nice. Okay, so we now proceed to the part where we do small scenes. The variation we made from last week is we realized it went a little long when we did the large scene, and then everybody also performed in a smaller scene. So the larger scene that we spun last week and we already determined was As You Like It, Act 5, Scene 2. There's 5 roles to cast there: Orlando, Oliver, Rosalind, Silvius, and Phoebe. So that's 5 roles. There are 7 of us still here, so we will need to spin an additional scene to get so that the remaining players get one. And then so we'll have a total of 7, assuming it's a there might be one person goes again if we get a 3-person scene, but we'll have the 7 or 8 roles out there, and it'll just be, you can choose what role from either scene you want to do. So the one scene we'll do today that we already knew, As You Like It, Act 5, Scene 2. The other scene that we're going to do will be Othello and Desdemona. Did this one a while ago. I believe I did this to Maggie. So the strangulation scene. Othello and Desdemona. So we got 7 of us, and the roles to be cast again: Orlando, Oliver, Rosalind, Silvius, Phoebe, Othello, and Desdemona. We will. Here's names. I got to add Ted to the wheel. Let's take off the people that aren't here with us this week. Okay, so the person that gets the first choice of roles from those that we just read off will be right on the line. Elizabeth or Sheila? Sheila, that is barely. Sheila, what would you like to be?
I will do Phoebe.
Phoebe. Okay. And okay, so next choice will be Ted, what would you like to be?
Silvius,
Silvius?
please, yes.
Okay. Next choice will be Eleanor. Eleanor, what would you like to do? Eleanor, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, which role would you like?
I'll take Rosalind.
Rosalind, okay. Okay, I'll take Orlando. And what we have left is we have Oliver, Othello, and Desdemona. Bill, what would you like?
How about Othello?
Othello. Great. That probably would have been it would have been my choice, but I've done that one before. I already killed Maggie a few months ago when we did that scene. Okay, so the remaining two, Oliver and Desdemona. So between who gets the choice between those roles will be Elizabeth. Elizabeth, would you like to be Oliver or anything as you like it, or Desdemona and Othello?
Did somebody already pick Othello?
Bill just took Othello, yeah.
Oh, we did? Oh, okay. I'll do Desdemona.
Okay. And so that leaves Alex. So Alex will be our Oliver in the first scene. So let's take out I took Alex off. There we go. So at the top of the scene, it's just Orlando and Oliver on stage. So,
and what is happening in the scene, by the way?
This is toward the end. I think the brothers have just reconciled, and Rosalind, who's known as Ganymede, has not yet identified, has not let everybody know that she is Rosalind, and Phoebe is in love with Rosalind, who she calls Ganymede, while Silvius is in love with Phoebe. Rosalind and Orlando are in love, but Orlando doesn't know that Ganymede is Rosalind, and Oliver is the brother who has just reconciled with. He drove him out, and they've just come back together. And so you see, yeah. I start the scene with "Is possible" on so little. You found out you're ready to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Silvius or Rosalind come in. So, is possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her, that but seeing you should love her, and loving woo, and wooing she should grant, and will you persevere to enjoy her?
Neither call the giddiness a fitting question, the poverty of her, the small acquaintance, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consenting. But say with me, I love Aliana. Say with her that she loves me, consent with both that we may enjoy each other. It shall be to your good, for my father's house and all the revenue that was old Sir Rowan's, we will estate upon you, and here live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and all's contented followers. Go and prepare Aliana. For look you, here comes Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
I thought thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is. but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true. There was never anything so sudden but the fight of two rams, and Caesar's thrasonical brag of I came, saw, and overcame. For your brother and my sister no sooner met but they looked, no sooner looked but they loved, no sooner loved but they sighed, no sooner sighed but they asked one another the reason, no sooner knew the reason but they sought the remedy, and in these degrees have they made a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will together. Clubs cannot part them.
They shall be married tomorrow, and I will bid the Duke to be the nuptial. But oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. By so much the more shall I tomorrow be at the height of heart heaviness, by how much I shall think my brother happy in having what he wishes for.
Why then, tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind?
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you then no longer with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I speak to some purpose, that I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. I speak not this that you should bear a good opinion of my knowledge, in so much I say I know you are, nor do I labor for a greater esteem than may be in some small measure draw a belief from you, to do yourself good and not to grace me. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3 years old, conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind so near the heart as your gesture cries it out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life, I do, which I tender dearly, though I say I am a magician. Therefore, put you in your best array, bid your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind, if you will. Look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
Youth, you have done me much ungentleness to show the letters that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are there followed by a faithful shepherd. Look upon him, love him, he worships you.
A good shepherd, tell this youth what it is to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears, and so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service, and so am I for Phoebe.
And so I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of passion, and all made of wishes, all adoration, duty, and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all purity, all trial, all observance. And so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Who do you speak to? Why blame you me to love you?
To her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Pray you no more of this. Just like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. Alloo! I will help you if I can. I would love you if we could. Tomorrow, meet me all together. I will marry you if ever I marry woman, and I'll be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if ever I satisfy man, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. And as I love no woman, I'll meet. So fare you well. I have left you commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I. Okay. That was a lot of fun. Great scene. I just mentioned before we do our Othello scene, I'm glad that I figured out, the taking people who are off stage, only having the people that are on stage in the stream. However, that scene did lose a bit by we're able to have the right people on, but we can't do the blocking. I don't know if anybody else has seen this, but what's great about that, I love her, and I love no women. I've seen several productions. I don't know if anybody else can attest to this. It's where they arrange the characters, they do the blocking, they're arranged in a circle, and it's just doing the love circle. It could be a love triangle, but this is even better. It's a love circle, and they just, I love her, just going around the circle. That's just really funny to watch those. So anyway, we will now move on to Othello and Desdemona. Let me create the banner for that. You guys are, so Othello and Desdemona. Go from a fun comedy scene to about as grim a scene as you can imagine. Quite a contrast. So you guys are both ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, we'll do Othello and Desdemona.
It is the cause. It is the cause, my soul. Let me not name it to you, you chaste stars. It is the cause. Yet I'll not shed her blood, nor scar that whiter skin of hers than snow and smooth as monumental alabaster. Yet she must die, else she'll betray more men. Without the light. And then without the light. If I quench thee, thou flaming minister, I can again my former light restore, should I repent me. But once put out thy light, a cunningest pattern of excelling nature, I know not where is that Promethean heat that can thy light renew. I have plucked the rose, cannot give it vital growth again, it must needs wither. I'll smell it on the tree. Oh, balmy breath that dost almost persuade justice to break her sword. Oh, one more. One more. Thus when thou art dead, and I will kill thee and love thee after. One more, and this the last. So sweet was ne'er so fatal. I must weep, but they are cruel tears. This sorrow's heavenly, it strikes where it love. She wakes.
Who's there? Othello?
Hi, Desdemona.
Will you come to bed, my lord?
Have you prayed tonight, Desdemona?
Aye, my lord.
If you bethink yourself of any crime unreconciled as yet to heaven and grace, solicit for it straight.
Alas, my lord, what do you mean by that?
Well, do it and be brief. I will walk by. I would not kill thy unprepared spirit. No, heaven forfend. I would not kill thy soul.
Talk you of killing?
I do.
Then heaven have mercy on me.
Amen, with all my heart.
If you say so, I hope you will not kill me. And yet I fear you, for you are fatal then when your eyes roll so. Why, I should fear I know not, since guiltiness I know not, but yet I feel a fear.
Think on thy sins.
They are loves I bear to you.
Aye, and for that thou diest.
That death's unnatural that kills for loving. Alas, why gnaw you so your nether lip? Some bloody passion shakes your very frame. These are portents, but yet I hope they do not point on me.
Peace and be still.
I will so. What's the matter?
That handkerchief which I so loved and gave thee, thou gavest to Cassio.
No, by my life and soul. Send for the man and ask him.
Sweet soul, take heed. Take heed of perjury. Thou art on thy deathbed.
I, but not yet to die.
Yes, presently. Therefore confess thee freely of thy sin, for to deny each article with oath cannot remove nor choke the strong conception that I do groan withal. Thou art to die.
Then Lord have mercy on me.
I say amen.
And have you mercy too. I never did offend you in my life, never loved Cassio, but with such general warranty of heaven as I might love, I never gave him token.
By heaven, I saw my handkerchief in's hand. O perjured woman, thou dost stone my heart and makes me call what I intend to do a murder which I thought a sacrifice. I saw the handkerchief.
He found it then. I never gave it him. Send for him hither. Let him confess the truth.
He hath confessed.
What, my lord?
That he hath used thee.
How? Unlawfully?
Aye.
He will not say so.
No, his mouth is stopped. Honest Iago hath ta'en order for it.
Oh, my fear interprets. What is he dead?
Had all his hairs been lives, my great revenge had stomach for them all.
Alas, he is betrayed, and I undone.
Out, strumpet! Weepst thou for him to my face?
Oh, banish me, my lord, but kill me not.
Down, strumpet!
Kill me tomorrow. Let me live tonight.
Nay, if you thrive.
But half an hour.
Being done, there is no pause.
But while I say one prayer.
It is too late.
And see.
What noise is this? Is that where we're going?
Yeah, because we needed him.
Oh, yeah. Because then it becomes a larger scene. Other people come in. But,
I was getting carried away.
Well, who couldn't in a scene like that? Well, that was awesome, you guys. As always, the last thing we'll do before is we'll see what is the larger scene that we're going to do next week. We can start thinking about that in advance. We don't know what roles will be assigned, but we'll find out. So next week, in addition to whatever we need, Hamlet. Okay, so we start the gravedigger, and we did that as a smaller scene, just the two gravediggers, but this would be the whole scene. Hamlet, Horatio. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It would be the gravediggers. It would be the end of that scene after the gravediggers, and after they've left the gravediggers, the rest of the scene with Ophelia's funeral. Hamlet, Horatio, Laertes, Claudius, and Gertrude. And I think that there's a priest that has a line that I'm going to give it to Gertrude. So we'll have exactly 5 roles. So that will be what we have coming next week. And we are glad that, Ted, we're glad you joined us this week. We hope you had fun. We hope you will come back, become one of our regulars.
Thank you.
And, does Anybody else have an announcement they'd like to make before we wrap it up? Anybody?
I'm good.
Put your hand up if you need me to, because I can't have everybody in the stream at once. Okay, I see a couple hands. Elizabeth and Eleanor have announcements.
Yes, so Maggie and Danielle and I are going to be in a Zoom show of The Two Gentlemen of Verona. I was up at 6:45 this morning. That's why I look so exhausted rehearsing. We're rehearsing. Actors are in Moscow. People are in the UK. I'll see if I can. Oh, Maggie actually emailed you, Mark, the link. It's.
I might not have seen that. Might have been too late. I'll check my email for what Maggie sent me, and okay. I will, again, once this stream posts as a video on YouTube, I will post it as a comment there.
Yes, so it's tomorrow Pacific time at 12. So it would be 3 p.m. on the East Coast, and
that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're doing Two Gentlemen of Verona. It's really fun.
Hope I can make that. I'll have to see what the plan. I haven't talked to my wife about what the plans are tomorrow, but if we don't have any, I look forward to that. Eleanor, you had an announcement as well?
Yes, I have the announcement I've been making the last couple of times. If there is anyone here or watching on YouTube who would be interested in being in Ibsen's Brand, Henrik Ibsen's play Brand, on Sunday, a week from tomorrow, please email me with your picture and resume. My email is EEF, as in my initials, www@yahoo.com. EEF, www@yahoo.com, to be in Bran by Henrik Ibsen on Sunday the 23rd at 1 p.m.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other announcements? Since I can't have you all in the stream at once, I'll just look to see if I see any hands, and if I do, I'll put you in. Okay, I don't see any more hands, so we had a fun game this week. We'll do another one. We'll look forward to next week when we'll do the Hamlet scene plus whatever else comes up on the wheel. So I'll see you guys all next week. Same Bard time, same Bard channel. Bye now.